Something that I struggled finding the answer to is why Mono wears a thin paper bag. Does it have any significance, or is it entirely for cosmetic purposes? It might seem as if it's cosmetic to suit the cryptic world of Little Nightmares, but when you get to read Mono's description in Bandai Namco's website, it suggests otherwise. In today's video, I'll go over some data and information provided to theorize why Mono wears his thin paper bag. Hi folks, I'm R, your narrator, and here is why Mono wears a paper bag. Before we get into the video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and beware, as there will be spoilers ahead. First, let's try and understand who Mono is and what his purpose in Little Nightmares universe is. As we know, by the end of Little Nightmares 2, Mono turns out to be the Thin Man who will stay trapped in a room under the Eye's supervision until he becomes an adult Thin Man, who then finally becomes free when a young Mono opens the door for him and frees him. I've theorized in my previous videos that Mono is stuck in a time loop, with everything happening around him being part of the grand plan by the Eye to lure him into the tower after killing his own older version. This loop keeps on repeating for the Eye to keep Pale City under his control, with both the nest and the mob being connected to the Pale City. Therefore, we know that Mono is supposed to get to the signal tower and turn into the Thin Man every time in the loop. This wouldn't be possible without the guide of 6. As we can see in the comics that Mono has presumably been in the wilderness for quite some time already. Mono's trench coat is designed to hold a key. In the promotional photos, we can see Mono carrying a key on his trench coat rather than carrying it. What's the purpose of this key holder? It's possible that his coat has been designed specifically this way for a purpose, and that purpose is to carry a key. But what's this key and where does it lead to? As Mono is destined to open the door for his older self, the Thin Man, and set him loose, it seems as if his key is supposed to open this door. Therefore, he has been predestined to open the door, presumably as part of the loop. Mono seems to be always alone, and interestingly, his own name, Mono, points out to someone's solitude and loneliness. Mono is almost always seen being alone and by himself. In the comics, we come across him twice, once when Six is running away from the hunter and stumbles upon Mono sitting on a branch of a tree on his own, and another time where he's surrounded by different children while wearing his paper bag, who get kidnapped one by one, which leads him to be alone again. Therefore, Mono is a lonely kid who traverses across the wilderness or the Pale City on his own, and maybe that's why he desperately tries to stick with Six. All of these points lead to the question to why he wears a paper bag. So, as we discussed already, Mono seems to be a lonely kid. He seems to have spent majority of his time alone. He has a trench coat with a key holder, presumably for him to open the door for Thin Man. He's predestined to become the Thin Man, and he wears a paper bag. First obvious presumption is that he wears his paper bag to hide his identity. Why would he hide his identity though? Reading his description by Bandai Namco suggests that wearing his paper bag protects him against others who hate him and want him to fail. Therefore, he is hiding his identity from others. But who are the others? Are they the hostile perpetrators such as the hunter and the teacher, or does others suggest to other children? Or is it all of them? Also, why would others want him to fail? What specifically do they want him to fail? This could point out that maybe others, or at least the perpetrators, know that Mono will become the Thin Man, whose abilities will get exploited by the Eye, bringing all the misery into the Pale City. His powers allow the Eye to control the city and the people within it, including the teacher, the hunter, and the doctor. We can also see throughout the game, the perpetrators seem to especially target Mono rather than Six. Maybe the perpetrators try to stop Mono from going to the signal tower, hence why he wears a paper bag to forget that the world outside hates him and wants him to fail reaching the signal tower. It seems as if the perpetrators somehow know that Mono is behind all the misery in Pale City, putting them in the predicament that they are in, and desperately want to stop him with any means necessary. But it doesn't seem that they know. Six is the person who drops Mono to the depth to his doomed fate. Of course, apart from the Thin Man, as he is the older version of Mono, who knows that 6 is behind it all. Also, the description continues to read that Mono can't stay hidden forever. He exactly does that towards the end as he takes his paper mask off, when facing off the Thin Man, to metaphorically display who he is, or in other terms, what his powers are. So maybe the mask is quite literal and a metaphor that he's hiding his identity and also his abilities. As to what he has experienced, people tend to get hostile with him and hate him. And that's because others know that Thin Man is the culprit behind all the events in the Pale City. They know what his powers are and possibly what he looks like or used to look like as a younger person. Therefore, they would recognize Mono if he were to use his powers or show his face. And it seems that Mono doesn't know why others hate him. He doesn't know that he'll turn into Thin Man. That is why he travels to the signal tower, destroys Thin Man, and wears a paper bag in the first place. He also doesn't seem to be using his powers throughout the game, apart from using the TV transmissions to teleport. Also, you might ask, how do others know that he's the Thin Man? Because they are also stuck in the time loop, all thanks to the Thin Man. There was a comment on one of my posts that asked, how is it possible that it's a time loop when the Doctor was incinerated? Great question, Geobot3000. As we know in paradoxes, no matter what you do, the same events happen over and over again. If you kill someone, they come back to life and get introduced to a new area in the same fashion they did before. This would be more understandable if you watch the movies Predestination and especially Triangle. No matter what you do or how you try to break the loop, it keeps on repeating itself. Alright folks, that does it for this video. As always, thanks for watching the video and let me know what you think by leaving your comments down below. For more videos, keep tuned right here by hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell. You can also follow me on Twitter with the same name. It's been your host Star. It's been a pleasure having you for this video. Till the next one, have a fantastic day.